Hi, my name is Avery Campbell, and I'm going to be doing my presentation on modern feminism. So first, a little bit about me. I'm a senior, just like everyone else doing their big boards today. I have been in Flex all 4 years, and I am a young lady. Now, being a young lady, there's a variety of reasons why it's fairly obvious that I should be a feminist. One, I'm young. I am my life is fairly disposable. I can go out and do things and drop my job, drop my life, and go be active in the feminist community. Also, I'm a woman. I care about things, care about myself, but feminism is not something that's so much about yourself. So now, how many of you know a woman? Okay, everyone. How many of you care about a woman? Okay, also everyone. You all can be feminists. Hell, you all should be feminists. Why? Because it's not about you, it's about the people that you care about and doing right by them. It's about laying the brickwork for future generations to walk across. We might not see extreme change right now by tomorrow. Even when we all say like, okay, we're all feminists, so good, awesome, see change tomorrow. Probably not going to happen. But we will see change in the future, and that will better lives of the young men and women who come before us. So diving right on in. First, I'm going to be talking about education, body shame and clothing choice, and lifestyle choice. So to begin, education. Education is key. Education is so, so important for all young people, but specifically young women. Because without education, young women tend to fall behind, get caught up with life and poor decisions. But young women who stay in school, go through college, commit to careers, and they live full-fledged lives. And that's something we really need to promote. I mean, if you think about it, women are half our population. And if we're not using half of our workforce, how are we even getting things done? I mean, creatively speaking, there's a whole new mindset coming in, a whole new market. In the TV show Mad Men, I hate to use it as an example, but Peggy Olson served as the woman's view on things, and she brought to light new campaigns, new ideas, new products that were targeted at women, and she knew how they would like them. Men and women's brains often work on two separate planets. So to not be paying attention to half the population and letting the other half control everything, it just doesn't work well. We need to educate women because it'll better our community, better our world, better our economy. So now we get into one of my personal favorite topics, body shame and clothing choice. Now, this is not saying that we just go around to women and say, your body's ugly, your body's ugly, your body's ugly, you're terrible, you're terrible, you're terrible. No. It's again the underlying mindset that we have as a society towards young women. Now, I experienced this on a personal level because, I was a young woman too once, a few weeks ago. But really, I went to a very strict Catholic school for middle school, and my mother was very strict with the clothing I wore. I wouldn't say strict, but often concerned with the clothing I wore and how I was presented to the rest of the world. There's been a resurgence of young women feminists vocalizing their concerns about dress codes in schools, saying that women are told that their bodies are distractions towards men. Now, again, I speak for myself only here. Boys are really cute. It's cute what they wear. I like looking at them in the hallway, thinking about them in class, and yet somehow I stride right on through and I get my work done. Is that crazy, right? I should be a saint or something for, putting my wishes aside and actually focusing on what I'm supposed to be doing. Even though they wear their skinny jeans and their tight shirts, and it might get a little cold outside and a nipple might peek out, I somehow, God save me, remain in control of my body enough to finish my assignments. You see the irony here, right? Young girls' bodies are constant distractions. A bare shoulder could, ruin a whole test. But somehow girls remain composed in their education. Girls' bodies are not distractions. You're teaching boys that girls' bodies need to be distractions. Um, by telling a girl to cover herself up because she's a distraction or that's not right or that's inappropriate, you're telling this girl that her body, her natural shape, is wrong. How is my body wrong? It's all here. I can move, I can think, I can speak, I can write, I can analyze, I can do all these crazy things, but somehow my body is, well, it appears to be wrong. So I have to cover it up. So I have to be constantly concerned with what people will think of me if I don't. Will I be harming others if I unzip it a little bit? That's a lot of pressure to bear. And the worst part is that life wasn't always like that. You know, starting before puberty, you looked a lot like your male counterparts. You know, your hair was different and your face might be a little bit softer. You wore different clothes, but you didn't look that different. Our torsos didn't look that different. Our legs didn't look different. We were the same. And then lovely puberty happens. And at least for me, I skyrocketed against all my boys boys who were boyfriends, taller than all of them. Started developing breasts, started getting hips and buttocks and legs, and everything was changing. And oh God, I had my period and all these weird things. And all of a sudden, my favorite T-shirt was inappropriate to wear. My favorite T-shirt. Clothes were always really important to me. You know, I loved wearing what I had picked out. I loved wearing what I chose to wear because I thought it represented part of me. You know, that was who I was. Like it is for so many of us. That's not saying that image is everything, but image is surely something. And not only did I look different in it than I had before, I was being told that I couldn't wear that anymore. That couldn't be a part of me anymore. Because it was inappropriate and wrong. I was the same me, and that was the same shirt. How can I don't understand the change? No one explained it to me. That's not anyone's fault. I'm not, angry at anyone. It's just no one thought that that might be hard for me to comprehend. That my body was wrong. No one's body is wrong. One of the best quotes that I found during my research was said by a young feminist, in her school about school dress code. She'd been told that her shorts were too short and were a distraction, and that it was too sexy, and her response was not one of anger, but more one of questioning. You know, the quote was, I'm a 15-year-old girl. If you're sexualizing me, you're the problem. 15. I haven't had a lot of things for 15 years, being only 18. There's few material objects that I've been able to hold on to for 15 years that are, as old as I am. I'm pretty young. I'm actually really, really young. And even though I'm a full-grown adult, the idea of being sexualized is still kind of weird. You have to test the waters a little bit to figure it out. But 15, even younger than I am, what even is sexy? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that meant to me at 15. I mean, I knew that it meant that what I was wearing was different than what was socially acceptable. I knew that. So being sexy, having sex, was then wrong because in order to be sexy, to have sex, I had to be distracting, be wrong, be uncomfortable, be gross. That's the mindset of what young girls go through. So now, continuing on to lifestyle choice. So now, most of this narrows down to motherhood. Motherhood, that's a choice. That's a choice you gotta make in your life. Because it's one thing to have a child, but to commit to it, to be a mom, to raise another being into this world, like, God, I can barely fill out my college applications correctly. I highly doubt I could raise a child. And that's just me right now. So for me right now, having a child makes absolutely no sense to me. It sounds awful and terrible and terrifying. That's not to say I won't have children later down the road, and for me as an 18-year-old, no one really wants me to have a child. No one's really pushing for that quite yet. But what if I was 35? You know? What if I had a job? What if I was working really, really hard? I loved my job. I had a life partner, we're working hard together. And we decided, children, not for us. But then, I guarantee you, someone will make a comment, well, isn't that like your job? As a woman, like, don't you feel like you're missing something in your life? I have everything I want. What am I missing at all? It's the idea that it's women's job to be mothers, somehow their responsibility to the rest of the world. Whereas, I don't know if you know this, I can't just go, baby, 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 pregnancy. It's not how it works. It's two halves of this equation, a whole other set of chromosomes that I do not have. It takes two to make a thing go right. The thing's the baby. It's gonna go right. So, but no one ever makes a comment to a man of, oh my God, like, why aren't you fulfilling your fatherly duty to, have as many children as possible? No one cares because men are allowed to live their lives and choose not to have children, whereas women are often criticized for that. Another huge issue with choosing to be a mom is if you continue to work or not, being a working mom now. My mom decided to stay home. That's an experience that I had, and I loved having her home, and she loved being home. That worked out really well for her. I've also known a lot of working moms, moms who choose to. Yeah? Yeah! Sorry about that. Um, that's my stay-at-home mom. So, but by choosing to be a working mom, women are often criticized or often even paid less than a man would be. So, how does that break down? I was actually talking about this with my dad. Now, again, this is my dad. He has a young feminist daughter. Gotta deal with these questions a lot. And he was dealing with dilemma. He has his sales staff that he manages. And one of the women workers who's, really amazing, very, very smart, very, very talented, really good at her job, he wanted to promote her. The problem was she had 3 kids. And whenever one of those kids got sick, had to get a ride somewhere, had a rehearsal, mom was the one to take the fall. She was the one who had to call in from work. She's the one who would take sacrifice those hours, not her husband. Now, I don't know her family situation. I don't know how they discussed that or how they figured it out. But this woman is, not getting this opportunity to work simply because it makes more sense to hire the man because he can commit more hours. Now, a couple companies have done really great things by investing in women, hiring them young, offering maternity leave, equal pay, allowing them to, have flex schedules. So a lot of companies now are trying to hook two, working moms up to do not one job, but to manage each other's job. So let's say Diane and Suzanne are working buddies. Now, Diane's kid gets sick. Suzanne covers for her that day. The work still gets done. Diane gets to take care of her kid. Now, let's say Suzanne's kid has a recital. She has to go. Diane takes it over, takes care of it. Everything works out well. Now, it's not like these women are constantly going to be leaving. Kids do grow up, and when they do, they have these women on staff, these hard workers, being extremely successful in their fields, working together after they've been provided the opportunity to be working mothers. All right. So now we're moving in to heavier things. I'm just going to open this up, see how much time I have. Okay, awesome. On to heavier things. One of the keystones of modern feminism today is talking about the rape epidemic that is sweeping the nation. Now, I know no one likes to talk about this. It's not fun for me. It's not fun for you to hear about, but something that you need to stop ignoring and have a adult conversation about. So I'm going to start off with a story. Earlier this year, my friend was sexually assaulted. In fact, my best friend was. And I was in the midst of writing this paper about feminism, about dealing with rape. And I was having a hard time comprehending all of these situations and the victimizations and all these different things until it hit so close to home. So now, my friend, she knew this guy. She'd known him from childhood. She'd grown up with him. When her parents got divorced, he was there to support her. He was integral in her life. And then he did this awful thing. And even though he committed this awful act that will haunt her for the rest of her life, because she has to explain this to everyone, I haven't even thought about that. Every single friend she makes for the rest of her life, she will have to explain this to. This awful, awful, traumatic thing that happened, she will have to explain to everyone for the rest of her life, starting at age 19. It's a long rest of your life. So she called me, told me what happened. I start crying. She's crying. We don't know what to do. And she says, "Do I call the police?" And I understood why there are so many unreported rapes. Over 60% of rapes go unreported. 60%! That's more than half! Our statistics aren't even close to being correct. That's insane. And I didn't hate her for this. You know, it's not like she was a stupid girl. She's educated, she's well informed, she's got everything down packed, and yet she still asked herself, do I call the police? 2 out of 3 rapes are committed by someone the person knows, personally. And she had to think about this person who she had known her entire life. Did she want to send him to jail? Did she want to put this scar on his record? You know, she was dealing with someone's life here, not just anyone's life, someone she had cared about's life. But this person that she cared about had committed this awful, awful act towards her. So we called the police. She went and got a rape kit, wrote everything down, talked to the police. Everything was good, but she decided to take a little bit to decide if she was going to press charges or not. I wanted her to press charges right away. I had no remorse, no sympathy, nothing. I wanted to press charges because I was looking at the situation from her point of view. So, a little while later, she decides to press charges. She goes into the police station, she sits down, she's talking to the officer, and the officer tells her that she can't press charges. I mean, I can't press charges. I was raped. I can press charges. No, you can't, because you did not put up enough of a fight. You didn't scream. You knew the guy. You got into his car. You consented to get in his car. No, I'm sorry. We're not going to allow you to press charges. There's not enough evidence. Even with a rape kit, it's not enough evidence. You didn't scream. So, she didn't press charges. That rapist walked free. Just like the 98% of rapists who do not see a day in prison. He took something away from her. She took happiness away. I watched her cry. I watched her deal with depression. I watched her get prescribed to antidepressants and anti-anxiety pills because this is how much it affected her. And he walked free. Because she knew him. Because she consented to get in the car. One of the worst parts is that he would call her, text her. How you doing? Give me a call. It's not even crossed his mind that he had done something wrong. So, of course, the police told him that she had talked to them, gotten a rape kit. So now he knows. He also knows he got away with it. That's the world we live in. That's what she has to deal with every day when she wakes up. And while, it didn't happen to me, it still bothers me. It still affects me. That's my friend. And I hate to tell you, but statistically speaking, you're going to know someone who gets raped. I don't want to tell you that. I wish it wasn't true. But you need to be prepared for that. You need to be prepared for whoever it is. Your best friend, someone you barely know, your roommate. You need to know how to handle that. And that goes back to education. Teaching young men that a no is a no. Very simple rule. And that no isn't a maybe, or, oh, she's just playing hard to get. A no is a no. Very simple. Young women, be safe, be smart, and do not be afraid to ask for help. Do not be afraid to go and talk to your local authorities, no matter how inept they might be. They're the best we got. They're the best we got. We can make it better, but it has to start with telling. It has to start letting someone know. You do no good by not reporting. No good. Even though her rapist was not convicted, it was still reported. They still have to put down that she was raped. So one of those big long numbers for 2015, one of them's my best friend. One of them. And every other person on that list has a best friend too. These aren't just singular people that these happen to. It's a community, it's a family, it's a friend group. It's an epidemic. And it needs to stop here. Educate your young men, strengthen your young women, promote anti-rape laws, and hope for the best. Now, to transition out of that super fun topic, we're going to start to wrap this up. And we're going to be talking about people who say that we don't need feminism. It's a counter-argument. No one's ever gotten hurt by feminism. It's not so bad. And to those who say that we don't need it, that it already happened, that it's past, that women are equal, then why am I up here? How was I able to write a 17-page paper and a 5-slide long PowerPoint and a 30-minute presentation about it? I mean, there's gotta be something. Change doesn't happen overnight. We stopped. If I'm up here, if I've got something to say, if I don't feel as equal, feminism's still here and it's still a problem. Until every woman feels as equal, as capable, as powerful as a man can. And you know what? There's room to go with men too. We need to stop stereotyping for all people, for all genders, for all sexual orientations, and accept people as people first and gender second. My name's Avery Campbell. Go support your community. Go support your future. Go support feminism. Thank you.